Hello students and staff, this is Mr. Blumenthal, your Dean of Students. Today, I would like to review the student dress code so students and staff alike have a better idea about its contents as we complete the remainder of the 2011-2012 school year. Additionally, I would like to use this video to clear up some misconceptions and rumors floating about the hallways these past few days. For some students and staff members, this will be the first time they have been educated about the dress code's contents. Finally, I hope to answer many of the specific questions I have heard from students and staff so that there are fewer doubts about the dress code and its contents. Before we begin, I would like to make a few important clarifying statements. First, the dress code is not changing. The high school administration is unable to change a single word of the dress code because it is actually a corporation policy that came about from a school board directive more than 6 years ago. In other words, this is the same dress code that has existed since many of you were in elementary school. Second, this instructional video became necessary as a few students began violating the dress code without being disciplined, while others were referred to the main office. Additionally, many teachers felt uncomfortable enforcing the dress code when it seemed like many others were not doing the same. By viewing this video, it is my hope that these issues will correct themselves. Students will fully comply with the dress code, and teachers will feel more confident when they enforce these rules. Third and finally, this video is not comprehensive. I am not about to read the entire dress code to you, nor will I touch on each topic. Instead, I have selected many of the issues you are unclear about in the sincere belief that you understand the rest. If anyone has further questions, I recommend you read the dress code in its entirety, found on pages 10 and 11 in your student handbook, read the dress code guidelines located on the inside of your classroom door, or contact me in the main office. I'm sure there will be a few lingering questions following this presentation, but hopefully we can resolve them together. Let's begin. The text you can see on this slide is taken directly from the student handbook. Shirts and tops must be long enough to tuck in. You obviously do not have to tuck in your shirt, but the possibility must exist. Most importantly, shirts must cover your back, shoulders, underarms, midriff, and undergarments. Ladies, this next slide applies primarily to you. Gentlemen typically have fewer dress code violations for their shirt choices, but I will draw their attention when necessary. Here are 3 different types of tops for girls. Only the shirt on the left, the black top, is appropriate. As you can see, there is no visible cleavage, and her shirt has sleeves. When the dress code says no cleavage, that is what it means. There will be no further discussion on this matter. Students need to look in the mirror before leaving the house and be absolutely sure they are complying with this rule. If a student shows any cleavage, that individual should be written a dress code referral and sent to the main office. I understand that complying with this rule will be more difficult for some students. It cannot be helped. Thankfully, each student still has many choices available to them to ensure compliance regardless of body type. Students cannot wear their jackets in school. Students are allowed to carry their jackets to class, especially at the end of the school day, but they must be stowed properly and cannot be worn. I understand that the temperature inside the school varies from day to day, and sometimes from class period to class period. However, wearing outerwear is a safety issue at many high schools across the nation, and they are also prohibited here. One major exception, fleece jackets. Now, I am aware that fleece jackets are technically outerwear. However, they are typically thin and lightweight enough that they pose little safety risk, and they are quickly becoming as ubiquitous as mobile phones. It does not matter what brand of fleece you wear, whether it's North Face, Columbia, or Target. Students are permitted to wear them throughout the school day. Outerwear is any article of clothing that is obviously to be worn outside for inclement weather. For girls, many of you wear a pea-coat style of jacket with buttons and a belt. These are prohibited. Prohibited outerwear has bulk to protect students from the weather and usually extends past the waist. These items are not to be worn during school. As you can see on the right, students who have earned an athletic or academic letter may not wear their letterman's jacket during school. Each and every staff member is proud of your accomplishments on the field and your hard work at your favorite pastime. Wearing a letterman's jacket is still prohibited for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Moving on to pants. This slide is also taken directly from the handbook. These 2 bullet points are also very important. First, pants must be worn at the waist. Gentlemen, this rule applies especially to you. Second, all shorts, skirts, and dresses must be no shorter than knee length. Gentlemen, this aspect of the dress code is probably one of the most common and often underreported portions of the dress code. Again, pants are to be worn at the waist. Sagging your pants is not allowed, even if you are wearing athletic shorts underneath your pants. Please come to school wearing pants that you wear at your waist. Be sure they remain at your waist throughout the school day. Ladies, regardless of body type, each and every one of you have knees. You have 2 of them, and they are in the middle of your leg. Your shorts, skirts, and dresses must be no shorter than knee length to ensure compliance with the dress code. This rule will be enforced even when presenting a speech or dressing up prior to an athletic contest. As you can see on this slide, the girl pictured on the right has no visible cleavage and her shoulders are covered as well. However, she is violating the dress code because her skirt does not reach her knee. And yes, she's also wearing a hat. In this slide, only the woman in the center is complying with the dress code. Leggings can never be worn as pants, as you can see on the left. Leggings, or jeggings for that matter, can only be worn underneath a skirt or dress. On the right, the girl pictured is also violating the dress code because her skirt does not reach the knee. But again, the woman in the center is wearing leggings that comply with the dress code because she is wearing leggings beneath a skirt that reaches the knee. Yoga pants are acceptable dress. Tight yoga pants are in violation of the dress code. Whether yoga pants are tucked into boots or are capri length, the tightness of the pants violate the dress code. If the pants have excess fabric along the sides and the wearer can easily grasp or pinch the fabric along her leg, then the yoga pants are not in violation of the dress code. However, female students wearing yoga pants that are extremely tight from waist to knee will be in violation of the policy. This slide is fairly self-explanatory. Students cannot wear pajamas to school. Also, as I mentioned earlier, jeggings are prohibited. Skinny jeans are acceptable unless they fall into the too tight category like yoga pants. Students can wear hoodies in school. Students may not wear the hood up at any point during the school day. Many students have been repeatedly warned about this rule, yet continue to ignore it. Further disregard for this rule will result in a dress code violation. Hats of any type are forbidden. When you enter the building in the morning, you must remove your hat and stow it in your locker or your backpack. Students are not allowed to carry hats with them at any time during the school day, nor carry them in a pocket. Wearing or carrying a hat is a violation of the dress code and will result in a dress code referral. This slide is a catch-all slide to tie up a few loose ends. First, students cannot have holes of any size or shape in their jeans. Students violate the dress code even when no skin is showing beneath the jeans because the student is wearing shorts or leggings beneath the jeans. Only jeans without holes comply with the dress code. Secondly, student dress cannot contain images of the occult, guns, drugs, tobacco, etc. Thirdly, students are not to wear slippers to school. Slippers usually contain images of cartoon characters or small furry animals. Slides, wool-lined slip-ons, moccasins, and flip-flops are acceptable footwear, unless directed otherwise specifically by your teacher. Science classes typically forbid these types of footwear, for example. Finally, only offensive, obscene, or gang-related tattoos are prohibited. Other tattoos may be displayed unless they are located in a place prohibited by earlier portions of the dress code. Students, if you have any doubts about complying with the dress code, do not wear that article of clothing. That is the easiest way to ensure your compliance, and it really is that simple. These next few slides are directed primarily at teachers. But students should pay special attention to these slides as well to avoid some unpleasant consequences. Teachers, now that you better understand the dress code, please use the blue dress code referrals whenever possible. Additional copies can be found in the main office. These next two bullets are especially important. As professionals, the high school administration trusts your judgment. If you believe a student is violating the dress code, you are probably correct. You should write the student's name on the blue dress code referral, check the boxes that apply to that student's current dress, and send them with the form to the office. Additionally, please call the main office to alert the secretaries of their impending guests. You are not to discuss the issue with the student, nor are the students to argue with your decision. Students violating the dress code in the hallways are still violating the dress code. A frequent statement made by teachers involves identifying unknown students violating the dress code. Ask the student for their name and then refer them to the main office. Nearly every area of the school is viewable on camera. If students in the hallway ignore, lie, or otherwise subvert your request for their name, please contact the main office and I will work with you to quickly identify the student who will face additional discipline for failing to comply with staff requests. Finally, any adult enforcing the dress code is acting on behalf of the school board and the high school administration. Sarcastic, off-the-cuff retorts about the dress code will not be tolerated. No student should ever suggest that teachers enforcing the dress code are somehow acting inappropriately toward a student. Comments like these are designed to intimidate staff members and can be construed as sexual harassment. Students making these types of statements will be identified and substantially disciplined. I'd like to thank you for your attention today. I know there was a great deal of information presented very quickly, but I hope that many of you found this informative. Again, if you have any questions, you can usually locate me in the main office or at one of the other traditional methods listed here. This video will be uploaded to the high school website and linked to the school's new Twitter feed shown here. This feed is an easy way to hear all types of information and important announcements when you are outside of school. The administration is not interested in spying on any of you, so you have my word that there are no follow-backs. Again, thank you for your time and have a great day.